Phil King from Hoover, Alabama, and I guess best I love about Alabama football is Nick Saban.
And welcome back to the University of Alabama campus just outside Bryant-Denny Stadium. It's crazy here, fans anticipating A-Day 2010. I'm Gary Harris, and I'm joined by Rodney Orr from TiTTV.com, and we'd like to take a minute to thank Schlotzsky's Deli in Tuscaloosa for providing lunch for us and for our crew. Also, breakfast this morning as well. Really great food at Schlotzsky's, and we appreciate them feeding us because we've been working hard all day long. Well, Rodney, if folks were with us at the top of the hour, the top of the show, they know that there has been some late-breaking recruiting news today. But if you're just joining us, we want you to catch up the fans on a couple of big commitments.
Yeah, Haseen Clinton-Dix, the safety from Dr. Phillips High School down in Orlando, committed to Alabama this morning, made it official. Of course, we figured it was going to happen soon. And also another one that we've been kind of talking about, LaMichael Fanning, the great defensive lineman from Auburn High School, originally from Hogansville, Georgia, just transferred to Auburn last year, but he committed to Alabama. We broke that story on TiTTV.com a little earlier this morning. Again, two huge pickups, Gary, no question about that.
All right, Rodney, hang tight. We're going to talk Bama D here in just a moment. Well, it's a busy weekend, obviously, at the University of Alabama, and one group hosting events at the Capstone is the National Alumni Association. Last night, they inducted the 50-year reunion class into the Golden 50s Club. Today, they've given out the Distinguished Alumni and Outstanding Student Awards. And after A-Day, it is going to continue the good work that they do. Let's check in with WVUA's Claire Stewart to find out what they have planned coming up in the future.
The game day atmosphere is all around us today in Tuscaloosa, but what can Alabama football fans look forward to after A-Day game is over?
The Crimson Caravans start immediately after A-Day. The first caravan is in Dallas on Tuesday. So it's going to be Tuesday, Thursday until we go through 9 caravans.
And those 9 caravan stops are Dallas, Huntsville, Gadsden, Pensacola, Birmingham, Nashville, New Orleans, Atlanta, and Mobile.
It's really to get people together. I've heard people that don't know much about it think it's a fundraiser. It's not. It costs $35 to attend, and you get dinner. Coach Saban attends. Sometimes Coach Grant is there if he's available.
But will this tide over football fanatics until SEC Media Days in late July?
No. No, yeah. Alabama football fans are never satisfied until the game kicks off.
So I guess Alabama football is something that can be talked about 365 days a year. Reporting from Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, Claire Stewart, WVUA News.
Well, thank you very much, Claire. And if you're interested in being part of the Crimson Caravan this year, all of the in-state stops are sold out, but you can still get tickets to the out-of-state stops like Dallas, Nashville, New Orleans, and Atlanta. For more information about dates and times, log on to RollTide.com. Now, let's go back over to John Huddleston.
All right, Gary, thank you very much. Well, you know it and I know it. No one today will have a better seat at the A-Day game than Alabama head coach Nick Saban. Earlier in the show, we talked about Saban's vantage point and what he wanted to see. But have you ever wondered why he stands in the backfield behind the quarterback? Saban, who is an old QB himself, says over time he's learned to watch all phases of the game from that angle. But it's also a matter of personal safety.
I don't want to get run over, so I stand behind the offense all the time. And then the only guy I got to get out of the way of is the quarterback, who, as I've told them on many occasions this spring, I'm a better athlete than they are. I can move faster, so I can't get out of the way of them. And they don't really like that.
Well, that kind of got me thinking. Remember this scene from the 2008 8A game? Saban didn't move that quick that day. He got tangled up, couldn't get out of the way of John Parker Wilson or the Alabama defense. Of course, that was 2 years ago. Saban might have spent some time in the off-season conditioning program. Still, guys, I don't know. I'm not sure if he can outrun Greg McElroy or A.J. McCarron. We're going to send it back over to you guys at the Walk of Champion. Gary, Rodney.
All right, John, thank you. Good job today. Really some great information that you passed along to us. And I tell you what, Rodney, Coach Saban wants to be right down there amongst the action, but he certainly doesn't want to get run over, as he pointed out. But what a hands-on coach. We go to practice. We don't get to see much of it, but we see Coach Saban every day working out there with those defensive backs like an assistant coach. I mean, really getting hands-on.
Oh, no question about it, Gary. When you talk to a lot of the recruits, a lot of the prospects, for instance, Haseen Clinton Dix, they talk about the opportunity to play for Nick Saban in terms of not only as a head coach, but his skills, his ability to develop defensive backs and send them to the next level. So that's tremendously important in a lot of ways, obviously on the field, but also in recruiting.
Working back from an injury, it's never easy, and two Tide defensive players know that all too well. In the Florida International game, Damion Square tore his ACL and meniscus and was lost for the remainder of the season. That came late in the game. And remember this scene coming up from the Arkansas game?
Oh, yeah, takes his leg.
Don't even want to look at it.
Right
Linebacker
there.
Dante Hightower took a helmet from Mitch Petrus, square in the knee. He, too, was lost for the year. But today, it's a different story because of the advances in medicine and also the fact that these guys have worked hard. They've rehabbed, and both are close to 100%.
Just the hard work. I mean, I just looked forward to working hard. I didn't want to be one of those guys who'd be like, he's not going to be the same. So, I mean, I use that as motivation to be where I am today.
I mean, it's just a mentality. You know, you want to get back into action with this program as quick as possible. You know, it's a great thing, yeah, you know, and to watch it from the sideline, not a good look. So you're in a rush to get back and be out there with those guys.
Well, Rodney, we've talked about this defense not having a lot of experience. Let me fix this again. There we go. But these two guys, even though Square didn't play a lot, he was awesome when he was out there. Hightower is one of the best linebackers in the country. So to have these two football players coming back on that defense, it's a big boost.
Oh, no question about it, Gary. When you look at Dante Hightower, what he brings from a leadership standpoint, ability standpoint, he's so versatile. He plays inside. He can also play outside. You know, when Alabama lost Dante Hightower last year, they lost a tremendous pass rusher as well. And also, Damion Square, he was a budding star before he went down. He was going to be a significant impact in terms of a pass rusher as well. So when you look at those two coming back, Gary, certainly it's a huge boost to the Alabama defense in many ways.
We've talked about the offense, at least going into the season, being the strength of the team based on experience. But let's be clear on this. This is a talented defense, a very talented defense, arguably physically more talented than last year's. They just don't have all that experience that the 2009 team had.
I would certainly agree with that, Gary, when you look at the athletic ability overall. Again, I think Alabama, one thing you're going to see different this year, one thing in terms of a better pass rush, I think from the front guys, you're going to see Damion Square, you're going to see a better overall pass rush. Luther Davis has had an excellent spring at defensive end. Obviously, Marcel Darius has dominated. I mean, he's been credited with 9 sacks in the 2 scrimmages, Gary. He's probably had more like 15, to be quite honest with you, and 18 tackles overall in those 2 scrimmages. And, you know, he's probably the best defensive lineman in the country. He may be this year's version of Ndamukong Suh.
All right, good analysis, Rodney. We're going to take a timeout, and we'll be right back live from Bryant-Denny Stadium. You're watching the Tider Insider 8-Day Special, brought to you by Cook's Pest Control and Centricon.